Welcome to Bespoke Diaries. Today's article is on Limitation of Knowledge by Jaspriya Gandhok, founder, TEDx speaker, MindScapes Coaching and Consulting, India. Knowledge is considered the key to success. In the quest of acquiring it, we tend to ignore the limitations of knowledge. Production, dissemination, acquisition and eventual application of knowledge come with certain limits, and without an awareness of these limits, one cannot translate knowledge to wisdom. One can consider limitations of knowledge from different angles and perspectives, which are mostly confined to the acquisition of knowledge, be it at a larger group level or individual level. In this article, we will discuss these, along with the limitations that the acquisition of knowledge puts on an individual. Let's start at the top, with the limitations on a broader scale. These can be categorized as 1. Epistemological limitations. This refers to limitations of scientific methods and tools used to acquire knowledge. For example, certain phenomena may be difficult to observe or measure, leading to conjectures or incomplete information. Similarly, some questions may be beyond the scope of the current capability of scientific inquiry. 2. Methodological limitations. This refers to limitations of scientific methods and tools used to acquire knowledge. For example, certain phenomena may be difficult to observe or measure, leading to conjectures or incomplete information. Similarly, some questions may be beyond the scope of the current capability of scientific inquiry. 3. Social and cultural limitations. These limitations arise from the social and cultural influence on how knowledge is produced, disseminated and learned. For example, different cultural or ethnic groups may have different interpretations of the same historical events, or some groups may not have access to certain kinds of knowledge. 4. Historical limitations. These limitations of knowledge are based on the historical context in which it was produced. As it is said that winners write history, it is quite possible that the existing version of knowledge may not be completely factual. These limitations could also be due to a lack of technologies or methodologies available during that time when the information was being recorded. 5. Ethical limitations. This refers to the limitations of knowledge based on ethical considerations, such as the limitations of conducting certain types of research or the limitations of using knowledge for certain purposes. These limitations exist at a higher level and apply to society as a whole. But what about limitations of knowledge at an individual level? At a personal or individual level, the limitations of knowledge can be discussed in terms of the ways in which our own cognitive and epistemological abilities may be limited. Here are some possible points of discussion. 1. Cognitive biases. This refers to the way our existing biases influence our interpretation, understanding and assimilation of available knowledge. For example, we tend to seek information that reinforces our beliefs, and its availability, in turn, confirms its believability. 2. Limited experience. Our knowledge is often enhanced by our experiences, and the limit of our experiences determines their extent. For example, if you have lived in one place throughout your entire life, you may read many books, watch many travel shows or hear about other people's experiences, but your knowledge about other cultures and lifestyles will remain limited. 3. Limited education or training. Our knowledge is greatly shaped by the education and training we receive. For example, if our education and training have been in a specific field, then it is highly likely that we will be less knowledgeable about other fields. 4. Personal blind spots. Our own personal values, priorities or interests also prove to be limitations of knowledge. We may remain completely oblivious to the knowledge available outside our areas of interest. Lack of awareness about this is a big limitation. 5. Limited access to information. How much access do we have to information, and what kind of information is also detrimental to the knowledge we can acquire? For example, a person with limited financial resources may not have easy access to information or may receive poor quality information. Here, I would like to point out that information and knowledge are not the same thing. Information is one part of knowledge, which encompasses learning, knowing and discovering. Simply put, information is confined to facts and data, whereas knowledge builds on that, guided by experience and understanding. The points that we have discussed so far have been focused on the dissemination and acquisition of knowledge. But what about the application of knowledge? Can one become knowledgeable about everything? Is acquiring knowledge enough, or should it be translated into wisdom? These questions flip the argument about the limitation of knowledge on its head, as they focus on how knowledge itself can be limiting for an individual. This is best explained through the story titled A Cup of Tea. It goes like this: there once lived a Zen master in Japan. He was renowned far and wide for his wisdom and understanding of Zen philosophy. People from all over would flock to his monastery to seek his guidance and gain knowledge. During that time, there was a scholar who was studying Zen philosophy and considered himself highly knowledgeable. He thought no one knew more about Zen than he did. Then he heard about this Zen master and decided to see for himself if he really was worthy of the fame and respect accorded to him. So, he decided to pay him a visit. When he arrived at the monastery, he asked him in a commanding tone, "I have heard that you know everything about Zen. She has come to you to see what she can learn from you." The Zen master invited the young scholar to join him for tea. While pouring the tea, he let the tea overflow in the scholar's cup, spoiling his robes. The scholar lost his cool and said, "What are you doing, old man? You have ruined my robes. Can't you see the cup is full?" To this, the Zen master responded calmly, "You are like this teacup. Your mind is so full that there is no space for anything new to be added. First, empty your cup and then return to me." This story is the perfect illustration of how the pursuit and acquisition of knowledge can sometimes lead to a sense of overconfidence and arrogance, which interferes with the translation of knowledge to wisdom. In extreme cases, the single-minded pursuit of knowledge may prevent a person from appreciating the richness and complexity of the world around us. In such circumstances, instead of leading towards enlightenment and awareness, knowledge can prove to be extremely confining. This can be particularly true if we approach knowledge solely as a means to an end, rather than valuing it for its own sake. In this sense, wisdom may involve a recognition of the limits of our own knowledge and an openness to mystery and wonder. Overall, she thinks that the limitations of knowledge are multifaceted and complex, and can involve not only the acquisition and dissemination of information but also the development of ethical and practical wisdom, as well as a deeper appreciation for the mysteries and complexities of the world around us. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Do leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For similar type of article, please reach us at contact@thebespokediaries.com, or you can visit our website www.thebespokediaries.com.